Are you a lifelong fan of General Hospital?
Are you a new fan who wants to know more about the history of the show?
Do you enjoy talking about the show with others?
Do you find yourself yelling at the TV?
Is your self-care an hour a day in Port Charles?
If so, we invite you to join hosts
Amanda Kimmel
and Shannon Coach at the place where all the hidden conversations take place and secrets are revealed.
Meet us at Pier 54,
a General Hospital fan podcast.
Hello.
Hi.
Welcome to the Port Charles 411. We're going to recap 2024, the entire year.
It's crazy because it doesn't feel like it's been a year.
No, when I was skimming this just to see, and just remember, guys, we try to track this as we're going along, but then sometimes life happens and you realize that you haven't done anything for like 3 months and you have to go back to kind of reference your notes to see if you forgot something and try to fill it in. So you'll notice where those months are. And it's not necessarily in chronological order either.
We do the best we can.
Yep. So we'll start with January. Pretty good place to start.
Sounds good.
Michael told Sonny that Nina had turned Carly in right as Willow and Nina were walking into the Savoy.
That was a good scene.
Mm-hmm. Carly got the call from Amsterdam Embassy that Bobbie had passed away. That's how we started our year. That was the last part of the first episode of last year.
Yeah, that was awful.
I mean, they just went for it. And then Nicholas showed up at the gallery after a fundraiser that Ava had held on New Year's Eve. Hey, JD is joining us too.
I'm a JD-sicle.
You're a JD-sicle. You want to sit down and listen to, what? This is why you need to wear gloves. Seriously, Ryan's listening. It's our 2024 recap.
He's like, no, I just want to use you to get warm.
Here, I'll give you your pillow back. Let's get back to, okay. Oh, it was Nicholas at the gallery. All right. So then Nicholas showed up at the gallery after a fundraiser that Ava had held on New Year's Eve. Why did we care about that? Why was that documented? Was Nicholas gone?
Yes.
Yes. Nicholas had been missing?
Yeah, he'd been missing.
Okay. Nina showed up in the middle of the night and told Carly that she had turned them into the SEC. And then a few days later, she actually tells Carly that Michael has known this for a little while, and Carly confronted Michael about it.
Mm-hmm.
Our favorite one of the year, Felicia's DNA test, where she was trying to find out if Cody was Mac's son, and Sasha prevented it from being an accurate test by swapping out her own hair for his. Ava pressed charges against Esme for breaking into Windermere. Why does it feel like Esme has been gone for
just gonna say that. Like, what?
Curtis had surgery.
It feels like more than a year since he's been able to walk again.
Mm-hmm. And then we had Bobbie's funeral. That was just absolutely heartbreaking.
Nope.
No. It was one of the best honors of a character cast member ever.
Right.
Nicholas met Ace and took him. This is when he went on the run with him.
Mm-hmm.
Or just kidnapped him. I don't think they actually went on the run.
I think he was in hiding. I don't think that they left Port Charles, though, because that was whenever he took him off of Spencer.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Esme was sentenced to 6 months of probation. Kristina was implanted with TJ and Molly's baby. Finn was having his trial. That was the medical malpractice trial, because the wife wanted to sue, even though the guy knowingly refused treatment.
Well, the wife didn't know that the husband had known about his cancer for a while. Yeah.
Yes. And then Trina and Spencer were in Paris. Esme showed up and Trina hit her with a wrench. That's when they were on the boat. Right? Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Esme had gone there to kill them.
Yep.
Right? And Trina hit her with the wrench.
It's like a game of Clue.
On the boat.
On the boat with the wrench.
Yep.
All right. Mine also has Drew fires Nina and put Carly in charge of Crimson. Is that supposed to be there?
Yeah. I skipped that. Oh, hold it. I skipped that. Yep.
All right.
No, I missed that, and Kristina's pregnant. So
okay.
And then also Drew fired Nina and put Carly in charge of Crimson. And then Kristina received a positive pregnancy test and was pregnant.
And it really did happen that quickly, because she took that pregnancy test like 4 days after they implanted her, even though it wasn't really an implant. It was an IUI, but okay, whatever. We won't get into the specifics, even though it was 100% wrong.
Yep.
And then in February, Spencer and Esme are presumed dead. And then Adam decided to cut off from his dad and go back to PCU for music. I completely forgot about Adam.
What happened to Adam?
Dorms and we never heard about him again.
Yeah. It would have been nice to hear that, even have him referenced to by Gio. Oh, and there's this kid, Adam, that is great at the guitar.
Yeah. That's a missed opportunity. And then Jagger, I won't even get into all that. Just ridiculous recast stupidity. But okay. Nicholas and Ace came back from when they were in hiding. Martin broke up with Lucy. Scott kissed her, and they took a roll in the hay, literally.
Literally, yes.
Anna and Jordan were arrested by Jagger because he just walked around arresting everyone for no reason because he was ridiculous. Cassadine Drama Fund established for teaching, particularly the works of Shakespeare, to prison inmates and underserved communities and children. I do not remember that.
Was in Spencer's. Neither did I. See, this is why we write it down during the year, because that was in Spencer's honor.
Oh, okay. I guess I didn't realize it was for that. Okay. And then Dante arrested Nicholas. Anna became police commissioner. Cameron came back for Bobbie's funeral, which was sad.
Spencer's funeral. Does it say Bobbie?
Oh, Spencer's funeral. Sorry. I was reading it as the Spencer funeral, like Bobbie's, but no, sorry, Spencer funeral. Sonny became suspicious of Dex. Carly said she was paying him, but Sonny figured out it was Michael. And then he told Dex to leave. That was whenever he was going to kill him on the Pine Barrens and blah, 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 blah. Mm-hmm. And then Danny was brought home by the cops drunk on Valentine's Day.
I forgot about that.
That was real short-lived, too. It was like he was going to be a problem child, and then Sam yelled at him once, and he was back to being perfect. Olivia Jerome was dead.
Off screen.
Yes.
For no reason. In Pentonville, dead.
Yep. And then Marshall's doctor tells him that he was misdiagnosed. That was heartbreaking, but that was good. Mm-hmm. Valentine bought the Invader. Sunny had Diane serve Nina with divorce papers. Finally. Robert tells Valentine that Laura that Charlotte has to do 1,000 hours of community service, see a psychiatrist, and 3 years of probation, because that's when she was messing with Anna all the time.
Well, so did I miss where she
got shot?
No, where she was found. Oh, yeah, because I guess that would have happened after she was shot.
Yeah.
Did I miss that?
Or did that happen in December?
It might have.
I think that happened in December, and this was just like when they were finally sentencing her. I can't remember. I'm not sure.
They would have done it after her recovery.
Right.
Okay.
And then Blaze's mom shows up, which is fun and weird. We haven't seen her.
Nope.
Like, she was flirting with Sunny just a couple weeks ago, and then we have not seen her. But okay. Mm-hmm. And then Ava sold Windermere, whose tenant just moved in yesterday. What the heck?
Oh. And then in March, Ms. Wu met with Sunny and Ava, and I feel like this is probably one of the last times that we saw her. I mean, it could be further down, but I mean, we haven't seen Ms. Wu. Brad did reference, we forgot to mention that Brad referenced her, and he's like, that's why I know so much about Cyrus, and I know that it's true because I worked for my aunt. Mm-hmm. You were wrong. Danny continued to be a problem child because that's when he was caught with a vape.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yep. JD and Ryan filled in for me.
That was a fun episode.
Jason came back and was staying in the boathouse and then turned himself in. Dante was shot. Heather Weber was at the hospital with a hurt hip and passed out, and that was when we got Allie Mills. Mm-hmm. Ned took Leo to the Great Barrier Reef while he was away on business, and Leo didn't have school. Aww. So that was nice, but we haven't seen Leo in a while.
Nope.
Spinelli and Maxie kissed. Heather was sent to San Quentin Federal Penitentiary. Drew broke up with Carly.
Ugh.
Sasha quit Deception. Blaze's mom tries to come to terms with Blaze being a lesbian.
Did she try to come to terms? I don't know that that's an accurate statement. She found out about her being a lesbian and was struggling with it.
That's why she's trying to come to terms.
I don't know that she was trying, but okay.
She was a fly in the oil. I don't even know if that's the accurate use of that phrase again. Joss breaks up with Dex. Diane started to pursue Alexis to get back into law. Kevin talked with Marshall about how he was misdiagnosed.
Mm.
We got a really interesting history lesson on that, though. That was interesting.
Yeah.
Just to use that word again. Dex told Anna all about Sonny ordering him to kill Cyrus and more. Like, he just spilled the beans.
He did.
Jason learned that John is Jagger.
Except he wasn't.
Dante woke up as Dante?
Oh, because he had been shot, and we were wondering if he was going to, remember, he was like out for a couple of days, and we were like, oh my God, is he going to wake up and not know who he is, and blah, blah, blah,
Yes.
blah, blah. But he didn't. He woke up as himself.
I really do need to start adding like little asterisks, like, and this is why
it's fun to decode together.
It is. Anna offered Dex a job with the PCPD before even knowing if he was going to even make it through training.
The academy. Yep.
Thank you. That was the word that I was looking for. And I'm like, I know that it's not school, academy. We found out that Valentine had been running pikemen since Brennan was behind bars, and Ava and Sonny kissed.
Oh,
and we were
so glad.
We were okay with that, though, remember?
But I'm glad that it didn't go anywhere else. I like seeing them feud. So then in April, Nina was back at Crimson because Carly had taken over for that small amount of time. And then she was like, no, I don't want to do this. Curtis stands up for the first time after his surgery. Dante was discharged from the hospital, still knowing who he was. Drew and Nina hook up twice. So double ooh. Cyrus ended his radio show. Lucy ruined Deception on Home and Heart. Oh my God, that was so horrible. She just kept yapping. Thank God Lois ended up taking over. Anna and Laura decide to quit protecting Sonny, which I'm not even sure what that means, but okay. Jason,
they were talking about their pasts where Laura kind of looked at him differently because of his relationship with Luke. Anna looked at him differently because of his relationship with Robin. But
I just haven't really seen a difference over the year. Like, they didn't really hang out with Sonny to begin with. They were kind and like hugged each other. But anytime that Laura sees Sonny, she's still that same way. So I don't get it.
But maybe they were just saying, like, okay, we have kind of been denying that we have been perhaps not. I don't think that they've never said, okay, I'm not going to do this. But, perhaps when there's like rumblings, they're like, you have to give me proof for this to happen. Whereas if it was somebody else, maybe they would have investigated a little bit more. I think that's when they decided that they were going to stop doing that.
Protecting him that way. Okay, that makes sense. Jason went legit and only wanted the coffee business. Jason gave Carly her half of the MetroCorp back, so he bought it from Nina and then gave it back to her. Laura tells Sonny the city won't accept a donation from him of art while she is mayor.
See, they did do something.
Okay, that was one small thing. And then Anna realizes Valentine is definitely involved in pikemen, and she questions Brennan and Valentine directly, and neither one of them tell her anything. And then Sasha kisses Cody and is hired on as the Quartermain cook. Well, that's been a while she's been with them.
Yeah. And then in May, Anna moved into Sasha's apartment, and that's part of why Sasha took the job as the cook, is because she couldn't afford to maintain her apartment anymore because she left Deception. Congressman McConkey suggests Drew run for Congress because he has never done anything for the community in his life, and that just seems like a good idea at the time. Because he had an idea for an esplanade that he stole from Jordan.
Right.
Sorry.
That we still haven't seen come to light. There's been no development on all of that.
No. Well, Curtis just referenced it somehow. He said he had a different idea for it. I forget what it was.
I'm not sure.
I don't remember. Yeah. But no, just the whole thing about Drew even getting into Congress. It's not even like he started to get involved in like local organizations and local nonprofits, and he found the gap and
right, like if
wow,
him and McConkey
this really should change.
Yeah, if him and McConkey would have found themselves at a bunch of different fundraisers like every month, like, oh, fancy to see you here again, blah, 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 blah. And then he would have been like, hey, since you're involved in all this stuff anyway, why don't you go ahead and run for Congress? But it was just like, they got that introduction from Nina, and all of a sudden it was like, oh yeah, he would be great.
And it was over like just waterfront development, not even over anything. I guess what I'm trying to say is like I wanted Drew to actually find passion about it and then realize that a way to make the changes that he wanted to make, not as a business decision.
Right.
You know, I wanted him to actually care.
Nope.
And have found the gap and realized, you know what, I'm in a position where I could actually make a difference. I can't even think of something that Drew would be interested in a nonprofit. Okay, let's just go with his Navy SEAL. Like, you know, have him involved in veteran services and finds out, oh, they are really underserved. We are not treating our military, our veterans correctly. Let's change this. Like, that would have been great.
Anything. Could have found it in anything. He did nothing.
Ava and Nina were no longer friends. Chase and Brook Lynn got married. Sonny beat up Dex. Gregory passed away. Like the day after.
Yeah, that was sad.
I was right about that. That was one I was mad about being right about.
Mm-hmm.
Finn drank. Alexis met Neil's other brother, Fergus, at the hearing, but Fergus was actually Cameron.
No.
What was his last name? What was Cameron Smith?
There you go.
Because he was Xander's dad. It was the same actor. But yes. And Cameron's namesake. And then there was an attack on Jason at the warehouse.
Mm-hmm. And then in June was Gregory's memorial, and that was sad. They donated or dedicated the bench in the park for him. Mm-hmm. And just watching Tracy struggle over his death, that was sad.
Yeah.
And then Jake and his friends go to the bar and they see Finn drinking and kissing another woman. Okay, I guess that's when Jake like turned his badness around.
Well, and no, then was that Jake or Danny? Because Danny was the one that was being bad. I'm sorry, did I?
Oh yeah, you're right. No, that was Jake, because Jake is Elizabeth's. So yeah, he was. I'm mixing them up. All right. And then Chase, Brook Lynn, and Liz try to help Finn. And that's whenever he was like falling down drunk and the paramedics had to come and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Kristina asks Alexis for advice to prepare if Molly and TJ break up. And then Willow's birthday party, which was all just weird. That's whenever Drew announced that he was running for congressman at her party. And everyone was like, right. Oh my gosh.
And blah, she's blah, like, blah. It's the best birthday present ever.
Yeah.
Okay, back to that could have been the thing that Drew found the gap that needed to be, because he had to fight so hard to get Liesl and like everything, but then also like watching the struggle with Willow. That could have been the driving force behind his passion for whatever it was that got him into Congress. And then that actually would have made sense for why the timing wise with Willow falling in love with her hero, because he was so dedicated to making a difference in that.
Yep.
That actually would have made sense instead of like, hey, a year and a half later, we're suddenly going to have her fall in love with him.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, sorry.
You're good. Alexis's disbarment was vacated. Cody talked to Tracy about his possible father. That was whenever he was he knew that Mac was his dad, but he hadn't admitted to anyone, and we still had the fake paternity test. Mm-hmm. Stella advises Chase to not build a case against his brother, but for his niece. That was nice. That's like
when they
nice.
were, when they were trying to get,
a Violet, yeah. And then Mac came back, and Portia and Terry talked to Finn about his drinking, and he quit. He was just like, I'm done with GH, bye, see ya. And then Violet found Finn passed out and bleeding. Alexis is allowed to practice law again, and Tracy books Finn a stay at a 90-day residential program at Sky Meadow Lodge.
That he completed.
Yes, he did.
And then in July, Alexis quits the Invader. Drew announced his candidacy. Willow and Drew kissed on the 4th of July with the stupid fireworks.
Those darn fireworks. I can't be held responsible for my actions.
Cody tells Mac that he's his son. Jason offers to help Jake pay for art school. Willow tells Nina about her kiss with Drew. Charlotte apologized to Anna. Anna turned Valentine in as the head of pikemen, but told him to run. So she gave him a heads up, but ooh. And then this is when we started with bringing Lulu back. Laura and Dante were visiting her. Perez Hilton interviewed Kristina and Blaze because, I didn't put this in there with Natalia, Ava recorded Natalia saying really, really, really nasty things about the LGBTQ plus community. And they were interviewed kind of as in response to it.
Right.
Pates arrested Carly, but the judge dismissed the charges because the evidence had disappeared.
Mm-hmm.
And then Kristina was served to be a witness at Ava and Avery's custody hearing.
Wow. So then in August, Kristina fell out of Ava's window at the Metro Court and into the pool. And a hot EMT showed up to help her, and he had lines.
And he got a name. He was named Johnny, wasn't he? He was John. And
I don't remember his name. I prefer to call him Hot EMT, as we have noted.
Because we posted on, that was the title that week was He finally got a name. And then, he was finally, his name is John.
Okay.
And then we've never seen him since.
Right. And then Dante arrested Ava. Kristina, Molly, and TJ lost the baby, and Kristina had a lot of surgery, and they were concerned about they might have to do a hysterectomy, but they did not. And then Ghost of Morgan visits Sunny. Ava's arrested for manslaughter because of the baby passing. And then Donna, I forgot about this. Donna took a bunch of daddy's vitamins, air quotes, and they had to rush her to the hospital. The WSB opens a station in Port Charles with Brennan as the chief, which still doesn't make any sense because there's been stuff going on with people who work or who live in Port Charles for 40 years now, and they never opened a WSB station. But this year we need to. Blaze is asked to be the opening act for Miguel Morez's fall tour. I love Miguel. And then
so set on getting Ricky Martin on, though.
I wanted to see it so bad. And then Kristina broke up with Allison, telling her that she needs to go on tour because Allison was going to stay back for Kristina. And then Blaze fires her mom as her momager.
And for them that are just now listening in the future to 2024, Blaze is Allison.
Yes. And then John Cates arrested Kristina for...
Why did he arrest her?
For the death of the baby, because he was trying to... Well, I don't know why he was trying to do that. I know he was with Ava, but I can't remember why he was trying to make he was using Kristina against Sunny. He was trying to get Kristina to give information on Sunny. And so he arrested her and charged her with the death of her baby. There we go. Lois made her first TV appearance as the face of deception, and a caller tells her to lose the accent. And then Lulu was moved to GH because she had cirrhosis of the liver and needed a transplant. And then our favorite guy, Lucky, came back. And then John arrested Kristina for manslaughter of the death, there we go, of the baby. And then Sunny shot John.
Well, and Sunny had also decided to turn himself in to save her.
Yes. Sorry, I read the first sentences and was like, we just talked about that. I didn't read the rest of it about Sunny was going to turn himself in.
Yep. And then in September, Tracy hired a dialect coach for Lois to improve deception sales. Ava recanted her statement implicating that Kristina was trying to kill her because Ava to this point had really just maintained that it was an accident. It was
right.
But she was making it more of, well, Kristina was attacking me, therefore I pushed her.
Mm-hmm.
Liz and Rick, so yeah, Rick's back, saw Alexis throw a gun off the footbridge. Holly shows up to where Lucky was being held. Sunny uses Carly as an alibi. Dex graduated from the academy and became an officer. Willow begins working at the hospital again. Liz tells Terry that Stephen Weber, her brother, had been released from jail and had settled in Sedona. Anna and Jason go to rescue Lucky. Carly asks Brennan to help Jason and Anna. Lucky, Jason, Anna, and Holly came back to Port Charles, and Liz tells Aiden about Lucky coming back.
Yay. And then in October, Lucas came back, but he was a recast. Violet punched a boy at school because he called her dad a drunk. Aiden came out to Lucky. That was such a nice conversation. That was so sweet. Lucky turned out that he couldn't be a donor for Lulu because of health issues that he had got from being all over the world.
Well, he got like a parasite or something that wasn't even really affecting him, but somehow it was in him. That kind of freaks me out. Like, could we actually have in us that we don't realize, even with routine blood work, but it's not until they go to like the next level of blood work that they're like, oh, hey, by the way, you have a parasite.
Yeah.
Let's just, ugh. Okay. Sorry.
You're good. Lucky trashed Bobbie's because he was mad that he couldn't be a donor for Lulu. And then Ned hires a PI to find out if Drew and Willow are having an affair. And that was after, oh my gosh.
James told him.
Thank you. I could not think of James. I kept wanting to call him Wiley. And I'm like, that's not who it was. James told him that he had heard them talking about kissing.
Mm-hmm.
Holly is revealed to be Sasha's mother, which was just stupid. Pam is the match to save Lulu. Holly tells Sasha that Cody is her cousin, which was also just stupid. Sasha and Robert send their DNA to the WSB lab, and she is indeed his daughter. And then Finn was able to leave rehab and got a job in Seattle. And so then Violet left to go with him, which was heartbreaking. And Marshall left to go on tour with Wynton Morales. And then they had Halloween. Oh my gosh, it was so cute. Halloween. Wiley was Sherlock. Michael was Watson. Scout was Olympic 9-time gold medalist winner swimmer. Blah, blah, blah. Katie Ledecky. Is that how you say her last name?
Ledecky.
All right, there we go. You're like, are you in love with her? You're like quoting all of her stuff. She got 2 gold, 1 silver, and 1 bronze from the 2024 Paris Olympics.
I like when they actually reference real people. So like the person that Marshall went on tour with is a real musician, and they actually had Scout. And right, because Scout is a swimmer.
Yes. No, I like that she played a real Olympian. I just wasn't ready for you to quote the medals. And then James was Woody from Toy Story, which is my favorite because Toy Story was Matt's favorite show or movie when he was growing up. And then Sasha and Michael slept together because Sasha was upset that Cody was her cousin, and Michael was upset because he knew that something was going on between Willow and Drew.
He knew they kissed.
Yes. Yeah. And then Cody punched Drew, and then Dante proposed to Sam, and she said yes, and then she died because Cyrus is psychotic.
So in November, everyone learned of Sam's passing. Oh, because you know what else? They had her die on Halloween, which is her best friend Maxie's birthday.
Mm-hmm. But we didn't celebrate Maxie's birthday this year, so it didn't matter.
Right. Holly begs Robert to forgive her and gives him a million excuses about why she lied and blah, 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 blah. Willow confronted Sasha for telling Cody about the kiss and her mom being dead because, Willow had tried to, they had a friendship that, they thought she shared the mom thing. And Sasha's like, Well, she might as well have been. And Willow's like, yeah, no, not the same thing.
Right.
Ava tells Nina to tell Willow that she has been sleeping with Drew, that Nina has, because this kept happening.
Yes.
Willow and Drew hooked up in the nursery.
Ugh.
Brooklyn and Chase decide to have a baby. Okay, there we go. It's been since October. For some reason, I thought it was closer to when Gregory passed, but I guess not. Because he had always said about how much he wanted to have them to have the grandchild.
Right.
Sidwell arrived in Port Charles and kidnapped Sasha. Holly gave up the diamonds to save Sasha. I don't think we even talked about the diamonds yet. So Holly had stolen diamonds from Sidwell.
Yep.
And nobody else knew about it. And then when Sidwell captured Sasha, Holly gave them up in order to save her. And then Drew blackmailed Cody with $50,000 to stay quiet about what he knows about him and Willow. And then Tracy told Cody that he should have held out for more money and that she's going to help him invest. Got $50,000.
But he wanted to buy the estate that he grew up on, and we thought that was the kind of money they were going to be talking about. Instead, they were like, "Here's a piddly $50,000."
Yep. And not for nothing, the estate is for sale for $5 million.
Right.
So it's not even down payment money.
Mm-mm.
Jason punched Drew, and they fought in the Quartermain foyer, and that was fantastic. And then we had Sam's funeral, and the second that Sam's funeral ends, Lulu's eyes open.
Yep.
And then she escaped Turning Woods, And then Sasha learns that she is pregnant. And then Michael recorded conversation with Drew and he shared it with Curtis. And that was all about Aurora because Drew had been promising Curtis to be the CEO of Aurora when he went to DC to be, if he won, that he would be the CEO when he moved to DC to be congressman.
Yep. And then in December, Jason announces that he'll be moving back into the Quartermaine mansion so all the kids can stay together.
And that makes more sense as to why Sasha would move in.
Yes.
And that's when it's
nice.
Oh, yeah.
Well, Sasha's already living there right now, so she'll just stay.
Oh, she is. Oh, yeah, she is.
And then Sunny mentions that Phyllis moved back to Nixon Falls, and Lucky and Liz decorate her house for Christmas, and he sings Elizabeth. And it's revealed that Cyrus injected Sam's IV with digitalis. Dex was stabbed, and he later died. And then another patient, Sylvie Mullen, died of a heart attack in August, but they didn't know if it was digitalis, so they were exhuming the body. Michael gained control of Aurora and promoted Curtis to CEO. Lulu went to Prague to see Charlotte. Michael and Willow are heading for divorce. Sunny gives Kristina Charlie's, and Lucas told off Willow and Drew, and that was beautiful because he talked about the fact that he sacrificed being Wiley's father so that Michael could have him, and then Michael let Willow in, and now Willow is just being a selfish witch.
Yep. And now we're getting into the complex relationships. We actually didn't have, although it sounds like we didn't really have as many as it sounds like, I think. So only Dante and Sam got engaged, and that wasn't until October.
Mm-hmm.
They're the only ones that got engaged. The only wedding was Chase and Brook Lynn. Sunny and Nina got divorced. And I didn't know what to say about TJ and Molly because they're separated. They're separated. But they're legally partners. Like they had a civil ceremony, so they're legally connected. So there is going to have to be some kind of a legal separation, termination of that relationship. So put it in there. Kind of curious to find out what it's actually called. Then we had cheating and affairs, tons of those. Technically, when Nina slept with Drew, she was still married to Sunny. And then also, Sunny kissed Ava while he was still married to Nina. However, they were so done. Like they were in the process of getting divorced and everything, but still technically married. Finn cheated on Liz.
Yeah.
And then Drew and Willow. And then Michael and Sasha slept together the night that Michael found out about Willow cheating on him with Drew. And then pregnancies and babies. Kristina was the surrogate for Molly and TJ. And Sasha is pregnant with Michael's baby. And then we had some new relationships. I threw in Drew and Nina are hooking up. Ava and John kissed and then hooked up. Cody and Sasha, for a time we thought were hooking up, but apparently not because they are cousins.
They were dating and then they broke up.
Dating, yes. And then Holly and Robert, they're not new, but they haven't been together since like the decade, like for a long, long time. It's
They announced their love for each other.
Yes. And then Drew and Willow.
Yeah.
And then the breakups we had were Martin and Lucy, Liz and Finn, Kristina and Allison, Cody and Sasha. And then I guess we really could put Michael and Willow in this one because didn't she serve him with separation before the end of the year? Yep. Yeah, because they wanted the last Christmas, right? No, that's when he found out. When did she serve him with separation?
I think it was before the new year that she served him with separation.
So Michael and Willow separated. And then we had a few family reveals, parent reveals, whatever. That Fergus Fern. Fergus Fern is Neil's brother. And then Holly is Sasha's mother. And Robert is Sasha's father.
Okay. And then people who died or their funerals. Bobbie, they announced to January 2nd. She had passed peacefully in her sleep in Amsterdam. And they had the service on January 10th. Oh. Spencer was presumed dead February 1st. Esme was also presumed dead February 1st. February 15th, we found out that Olivia Jerome had died. March 12th, Jason killed Hamish.
That was the guy on top of the roof that was going that was going to take the shot at Sunny.
Thank you. Yeah, because I'm like, who?
It's when he was, we didn't, oh my gosh, how did we not even put this with the Jason stuff? That Jason was working for Pikeman.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Right? He was working for Pikeman.
Right. Because he was part of
because he was working for the WSB and to infiltrate Pikeman. Wow. I left out all of that because then because he was doing it for John and didn't realize that John was Jagger.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry.
Yep. Then May 21st, Gregory Chase passed away. And we found out that Stella's love of her life, Marcus, who we never saw, but she talked about how he was like it for her, and she gave him up to come back and help her sister raise the boys and blah, blah, blah. And then Molly and TJ's baby, Irene Marie, passed away in August. And Congressman McConkey and the pilot that saved Anna and Jason was murdered. And then Sam passed away on Halloween. And then Dex.
And he never got a funeral.
Nope. No memorial, no nothing yet. And then back from the dead is Jason again. And the lab results, accurate or not accurate, Felicia's DNA test that said that Cody isn't Mac's son. Heather's cobalt levels were lowered. No, Heather's cobalt levels were raised.
Look at the next one.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. So the accurate,
because remember there was the two tests. There was the two tests.
So the accurate one is that Heather's cobalt levels did indeed lower from two of the labs. The inaccurate was that they had remained unchanged because Portia tampered with it. And then Robert is Sasha's father, which is accurate. And then health concerns was Heather's hip replacement was leaking poison into her body. And Terry tells Tracy that she has depression.
We never saw her getting treatment for that. That would have been fantastic to see Tracy, especially in her age, because her age tends to think that you just move on. You know, you don't talk about it, you just move on. And it would have been great to see her treating her depression.
Mm-hmm. And Donna took Sunny's vitamins. I don't think Avery took any.
Well, that's what I just put in there because they weren't sure.
Yeah, I don't think that she did.
But
and
we forgot to mention that the vitamins were Sunny's medication, not she just kept saying that they were vitamins.
Yeah, it was his lithium pills. And then Lulu's health was deteriorating, and then she got the transplant and is magically fully recovered from her coma and her failing liver. And then hospital stays. Cyrus was in the hospital after Sunny beat him up. And then Curtis had surgery to help him walk again. Adam, that again we haven't heard about since all of this, was in the hospital after he OD'd. Heather Weber because of her metallosis. Dante, Brennan because he stabbed himself to get out of prison and into the hospital. Kristina, Lulu was transferred back to GH for the transplant. Isaiah, Sam, and Dex after he was stabbed. And then the shootings, Ava and Sunny were shot at in Puerto Rico. God, that was forever ago.
I know.
Sunny was shot at in his warehouse. Guy working with Jacobs, who was actually Jason, shot at Dante. And then Sidwell shot the guard at the mine.
We forgot to talk about how Ava was living with Sunny. And then Ava moved out with Sunny. And now they're having the bitter custody battle.
Yes. Because that's part of why Nina and her weren't friends anymore, was because she was sticking up for Sunny and growing close to him, because his meds were not what they were supposed to be, because as part of Pikeman, Valentine had them low dosing.
I messed that one up too.
Well, that's okay. We get there by talking about it.
Ava found out about it. Well, and that's the other thing. That actually should have been a lab result, because Ava found out about it and had it tested and found out that they were not what they said they were. And then she withheld that information from him. And that's why he got mad.
Mm-hmm.
Oops.
Pay attention. The ferry leaves at 10 a.m. Roads are busy.
Great.
Dad, pack the boot. Suitcases, Tetris style.
Yeah.
Rosie, got your teddy?
Uh-huh.
No going back this time. Honey, how's the car?
Windows clean, car wax, carpets.
I meant the tyres.
Oh, sorted them at Quick Fit last week.
Brilliant. If things go to plan, it'll be smooth sailing.
Planning the perfect getaway this summer? Make sure your tyres are up for the job. Book today at quickfit.com or your local centre. Quick Fit. Drive away happy every time.
And then back to tracking Jason's shootings. The guy he worked with that shot Dante on Pier 55. And then there was a shootout at the coffee warehouse.
And then other violence and illegal activity. Sunny punched Cyrus and he quoted, "Turn the other cheek." So Sunny punched the other cheek. Cyrus told him that God forgives him, and Sunny punched him again and knocked him to the ground and kept punching him. And I think this is when we started to see that his lithium pills were not, because he was starting to lose the control, right?
Yep.
Ace was kidnapped. Esme knocked out Uncle Kevin, the captain, kidnapped Trina, tied up Spencer's hands and injected something into Spencer. I forgot about that.
Oh, yeah.
And then Trina hit Esme with the wrench on the boat. Heather tried to attack Cyrus, but Laura hit her on the head first. Agent Cates was beat up in the alley. Brennan punched a guy and stabbed himself. Nina punched Drew in the face. Ava and Kristina fought. Sidwell's camp blew up. Violet punched Garth at school. Cody punched Drew. A warehouse blew up when Sasha was kidnapped. Jason and Drew fought in the Quartermain mansion, and Dex was stabbed. And then I feel like I did not track this one very well, of people Sonny yelled at and intimidated. I feel like we came up with these categories when it was like heavy on, oh my gosh, he really shot at a lot of people this year.
Yeah.
So Sonny confronted Michael about knowing that Nina turned in Carly, and it was because Lois had told that to Sonny at the Savoy.
Mm-hmm.
And this just goes more to what she said to Brooklyn was inaccurate, because the reason she told Sonny was because of the moral thing behind it.
Yep. It was the right thing to do.
Yep. And then Sonny yelled at Nina when he found out that she's the one who had turned in Drew and Carly. He yelled at Cyrus at the church. He yelled at Jason, Dex at the wedding, and he punched him. And that was the first time that Kristina had ever seen him, supposedly, that she had ever seen him lose control that way. And he screamed at Ava. And then we had blackmails. And Brad let Portia know that he had found in his research, when he was testing Heather Weber's lab results, he discovered that Portia had been the one to tamper them, and he let the decision be hers. And then Drew paid Cody $50,000 to keep quiet about him and Willow. And so Curtis didn't actually blackmail Michael, but he definitely strong-armed him into the 5-year contract for CEO of Aurora, because he was actually kind of playing both Drew and Michael, but he put himself in a position of power that would have been impossible to say no to Michael.
Mm-hmm.
And then we had some arrests. Dante had Sonny arrested for second-degree assault on Cyrus. Maybe when Anna and Laura started to have that conversation?
Maybe, because he did beat Cyrus to like where he was almost dead.
Yeah. Esme, Ava had pressed charges against her for breaking into Windermere. Anna and Jordan were arrested by John for interfering with a federal investigation. Dante arrested Nicholas. The Wu clan was detained at the PCPD while investigating who shot at the warehouse. I forgot Lee turned everyone in.
Yes.
Was it this year?
I think so, but it was like
we just never did anything with it.
Yeah.
Cool. Spinelli and Maxie were arrested for obstruction of justice by John. This again, John is arresting all these people. Jason turned himself in. John arrested Carly. Dante arrested Ava for assaulting Kristina. Anna arrested Ava for manslaughter. John arrested Kristina multiple times. He arrested her like 3 times in a week, right?
Yep.
And then he arrested Alexis for the murder of... Oh, no, he did not.
He didn't arrest her.
But Alexis was arrested for the murder of John Cates. And then we had some new or brought back locations, destroyed locations, and some like new businesses. So Bobbie had started a human trafficking organization as a nonprofit in Amsterdam. There is a coffee house in Amsterdam. Horrible accent, I know, but still. Can't just say coffee house. Kelly's changed the name to Bobbie's. The Cassadine Drama Fund that we totally forget about. But, I'm going to Google that real quick just to see if it has its own little page. Nope, there's nothing.
Of course not.
And then the Port Charles Metropolitan Ballet. The airport, I don't remember really seeing the airport. Do you?
Yeah. It had been like a while, and then we just saw it for Lulu. But that was
so
it.
Maybe it's brought back.
Okay.
I should have notated this. Oh my gosh, we totally forgot about the New Tomorrow Institute, that Willow quit the hospital to go do the nonprofit with Drew, the New Tomorrow Institute, and then that's why she fell in love with him. Oh my gosh, so actually I was right that he did start doing something that she became interested in, and the reason that, well, no, because he didn't do it.
But he
connected her with it. Right,
yeah.
He connected her with it. But then even still, there wasn't really anything there. But then that's how she got a good relationship with Nina, because she helped her with the PR part of like prepping herself to become part of the PR.
Right.
But still, he did not use the New Tomorrow Institute as, like, he did not use that.
It wasn't part of his platform.
Correct. Cool. So I still stand by what I said before. And then Cyrus started a radio show. Not sure if it was a business or just, an unpaid show that people listen to. It's on KZPC radio, and it was called Searching with Cyrus. And then we have the new restaurant, the Surf Lodge, the Brown Dog Bar, which is obviously the Tano. The apartment above the Quartermain Garage, Lulu's hospital room, the WSB station in Port Charles, Brennan's office, Sidwell's camp. Aurora opened a wellness center. Alexis and Diane went into business together, and they are Miller and Davis, attorney at law. And then I noticed that Tire Track, a special beer. I'm like, should we just start tracking new brands? But then that's a little next level, even for me. So we'll just notice when we notice them, maybe write them down. Who knows? And then the Port Charles Redemption Mission, which is what Cyrus was ringing the bell for and collecting was ringing the bell to gather collections for in Rice Plaza. And also the reason why he says that he is at hospital.
Yes. And then events and celebrations. Ava had the fundraiser at the gallery on New Year's Eve. Chase had his bachelor party. Brooklyn had her bachelorette party. Chase had another bachelor party? No? Just one?
I just maybe wrote it down twice.
I didn't remember two. And Willow had her birthday party. And then, oh geez, no, this is all you. You get to read this one because you are the nerd who totally paid attention to all this crap.
Not all of them, but there's definitely a lot that I missed. The books! So on the Quartermain coffee table, in January, on the Quartermain coffee table on New Year's Eve, there was the World Something Encyclopedia. Could not read what the something was.
The fact that you have them broken down by month.
Carly, well, I figured maybe this would, anyone else interested in the books would be like, you know what, I'm going to go back and watch that episode in January where, they were doing this thing on New Year's Eve, and maybe I can see it.
No one's doing that, but go ahead.
Hey, I have been told that people appreciate the book thing.
I'm not saying that they don't appreciate the book thing, but they're not going back a year in the past to look at the book. But go ahead.
Somebody please do this just to prove it. Felicia was reading Budapest Crossing by Pierce Rupp, and we had found out the year before, or a year or two before, that it was a fake book. However, is one that is frequently read on General Hospital. Joss was reading it by the pool in 2023, and Anna had been reading it in August of 22. But we need someone to tell us about this book.
Mm-hmm.
And then there were Doorways of Paris on Laura's coffee table. And then Never Get Angry. I don't know where these were. Never Get Angry Again, The Foolproof Way to Stay Calm and in Control of Any Conversation or Situation by David L. Lieberman. Oh, Anna was reading it at Charlie's when Drew showed up, and they discussed how they were both feeling lost. And then Maxie had 3 books under her lamp in the living room and the complete book of shoes on the coffee table. In February, Sunny's shelf had How to Fight Muscle, and then there was something that I couldn't read the rest of it of. In March, Finn's office. See, and I like how they actually they pay attention to the books because they're putting the fighting books in Sunny's and the fashion books with Maxie.
Absolutely, they pay attention to where they go.
Because then in March, in Finn's office, we had Health and Aging, Pharmacology, High Speed Healing, the Wellness Encyclopedia, Family Medical Guide, the Encyclopedia of Drugs, Nature's Medicines, Fundamentals of Nursing, Statistical Methods in Education and Psychology. In April, I either didn't find anything or there wasn't any, which I highly doubt. In May, Alexis was reading The Summer I Went, and then there was like ... couldn't see the rest of the title, and there's no book that I could find on Google. In June, Gregory had an introduction to American government in the box of items that he was going to be donating. And then Valentine's books, I couldn't read them all. I know exactly the scene too, because it's when he was making... But no, it's when Anna was over there snooping, trying to find.
Oh, yes.
So she was at the bookshelf and
yes.
You just couldn't read any of them. And then in July, Jordan was reading The Summer I Went Away. And so I'm wondering if that's the same book that Alexis was reading in May. And then back in Sunny's office, he has The Back by Sam Roth, Outstanding Fighters, Muscle Power, Another Outstanding Fighters, and then How To, and you can see boxing gloves, so it's probably related to boxing gloves, but not entirely sure. Lois was reading a magazine, see, got magazines in here, titled Soft, And then in Drew's office in August, there were a few books, but I could only read Bondi Beach. And then in September, I guess I gave up on where these were. Because there was a book called Pathology. I'm assuming that was somebody's office at the hospital. And then there was a book with citations in the title. Yeah, I was giving up at this point. Not giving up, but this is also when I was very busy with work. And then there was a book that starts with heart disease. And then, in November, I guess I forgot that I had already noted the book of shoes at Maxie's. And then in the Quartermain living room was Vanity Fair 100 Years, and then New York and Illustrated History. And Molly was reading Little Woman, and we find out that that's her favorite book. And then in December, we see books about Chanel and New York at Maxie's, and there was a third one that I just couldn't read. And I'll just throw this next category in just because it kind of fits in with this one. Ava's gallery shows. In January, there was A Little Bird Told Me, and Bird was italicized and in bold. And then in February, the display was called Embrace. And then in June, it was Inverse Fluidity by Harriet Nakaya. And this was the artist that Ava wanted featured in Crimson.
Mm-hmm.
And why did that not happen? Oh, because she and Nina got in the fight. But why? This was a big deal because she was coming to the gallery.
Right. She wanted Nina to put it in the Crimson so that it would have more popularity whenever the show came. And because they weren't friends anymore, Nina said that it was too late and that she needed that space for advertising. And so she wouldn't have her put it in.
Okay.
And then what happened at the pier? Michael and Willow fought about him knowing about Nina being the one to turn in Drew and Carly.
And that was it.
And then that's all.
Like we only saw the pier once.
There wasn't a lot on the pier this year.
Did they take away our pier?
I hope not, because it's kind of
not
important.
Renaming the podcast.
Maybe now that Sidwell's living at Cassadine Island, we'll see a bunch of stuff going on down there again this year.
Okay.
And then recast and Sorest. They temporarily recast Lindsay Hartley as Sam in January and August. Temporary recast Juliet Donfield as Georgie. Tristan Riggs as Aiden. Riley and Miley Polonsky as Bailey Lou. Colin Cassidy as Aiden on September 30th. Van Hansis as Lucas. Temporary recast Robert Adamson as Michael on October 29th. And then Lulu was recast and Emma was recast.
Hold on, let's get their names. I'm sorry. The actress who is portraying Lulu's name is Alexa Havens Brunning, and Emma is Braden Brunner.
Okay.
Bruner.
All right. And then cast members that left the show is Avery Pohl, Nicholas Chavez, Michael Easton, Jacqueline Grace Lopez, Jophiel Love. That one still makes me super sad. Robert Gossett and Kelly Monaco.
Maybe we need to take Robert Gossett off of there because he came back. He just came back for Christmas.
Yeah.
So delete. But I thought at the time that he was.
Right.
Okay.
And then return to the show was Lucas. It was Ryan Carnes for Bobbie's funeral. And then Brighton Hertford was BJ, and she returned. Oh my gosh, that was like so freaking makes me want to cry just thinking about it.
I was gonna say,
awesome.
oh my god,
like I forgot about it, but forgot about it because we hadn't just watched it. But oh my gosh, that was heartbreaking. And anyway, she was the reporter who was doing a story about Bobbie, and her name was Angela Brighton, but it was real BJ coming back.
Yeah, it was the original. It was the actress who portrayed the little girl who passed away on the show, and then we didn't.
Go ahead, start crying. It was so
just
sweet.
like the best. It was the best because she went through and talked to everyone, and Maxie felt differently around her, and then there was just something about her. Like everyone was just like, oh, blah blah blah, and then the very last scene was Lucas leaving, and he had just finished telling her about like BJ would call him champ, and he was walking away, and she said like, bye champ, and when he turned around she was gone.
I love you. But yeah, it was amazing.
It was beautiful. It was like my son ran in and checked on me.
Yeah, they couldn't have done any better. It was amazing.
And they did it. It was one day, right? Like it was just one day.
Yep.
And
there wasn't a bunch of other storyline going on. It was focusing on that. Yeah.
Yep. Okay.
And then William Lipton came back for Spencer's funeral, and Lane Davies, but as Fergus Byron, and then Brian Craig talked to Sonny as Morgan on the ledge so that he wouldn't jump because he was so upset. And then Rick Hurst came back as Rick, and Jonathan Jackson came back as Lucky, and Emma Sams came back as Holly, and Scott Reeves is the new Scott Reeves came back as Stephen Lars. Just for that was like unfair actually, because it was just like a taste of seeing him and being like, yes, we have Stephen Lars back, and then he was like, okay, I'm taking Heather and we're leaving.
I know.
It was not okay. But anyway, and then Lulu, but she has been recast.
And I guess Emma, but we kind of said that that was just on the recast. Yeah. So Emma.
Yeah. So Emma.
She was back late in the year. I forgot to add her.
It's okay. She's there. And then new characters, Cornelia, which was the girl Bobbie was helping get to the States. And then Kylie, who was the RA for Joss and Trina. We met Adam's dad. Jesse was the Metro Court bartender, and Blaze's mom was new.
I like that I gave myself a note to fact check if he was new. And I did not fact check.
That's okay. We're just going to go with that. Gemma Compton was a journalist with the City Gazette who writes To the Nines column. Adrian DeWitt was the gossip columnist assistant editor. John Brennan, whose name was then changed to Jack. Madison is Nina's assistant. Hunter Cruz was the manager of Bobbie's. Congressman McConkey. Geo. I love Geo. Fergus Byron, played by the actors. We already said this. That was originally Cameron Lewis, which is Xander Smith, Cameron's dad, or Cameron's grandfather. And then Judge Sullivan when Carly was arrested in July. And here he have his name, the hot EMT named John. Good job remembering that. And baby Irene Marie, Agent Linda Boyle. Pearl was the new host of Home and Heart. Dr. Conlin was Lulu's daughter at GH.
Doctor.
What'd I say?
Daughter.
We're just going to make up new people. Here we go. Sorry. Dr. Conlin is Lulu's doctor at GH. And then we got Isaiah, and Robin Finch was the dialect coach. I did not care for her because leave Lois alone. Principal Ford, Elaine, who was lying about her non-service dog, should be arrested. Yeah. There was that stupid little yappy dog that she took everywhere with her. I'm like,
sorry,
but I remember.
We also forgot to mention that. Oh gosh, we forgot to mention that Martin came back and had and lost his beard and his accent.
He must have been hanging out with the dialect coach too much. And then we got Kai Taylor and Colette Gerard in September. But what's her name?
Her last name changed to Moreau in December.
Oh, I thought you were trying to say her first name. I'm like, well, it's not her first name. Yes.
Oh, sorry.
The assistant's name was changed. And then Officer Lauren Jackson, Dex's new partner that we met for that 1 second on the day that Dex was killed. And then we haven't seen anything about her at all.
Yep.
Okay.
And then we had a bunch of job changes. Drew fired Nina from Crimson and had her office emptied at the MetroCart. I forgot about that. He just did it. Carly was hired as the new editor-in-chief. It wasn't a job change, but Gregory agreed to officiate Brooklyn and Chase's wedding. Anna became the police commissioner again. Valentine bought The Invader and has been running Pikeman. Nina became publisher of The Invader and then wound up back in Crimson. Blaze was the face of deception, but not for the sale of the product, like not for the public, like the Home and Heart stuff.
Right.
Detective Bennett, police academy instructor. We only knew him as detective before.
Okay.
Sasha was hired as the cook for the Quartermains. Curtis was overseeing the gyms, like the wellness for Aurora. Dex joined the PCPD. Joss was a lifeguard. Finn quit the hospital. Alexis's disbarment was overturned and she quits the Invader. And I wasn't sure if it was new, but it was just like identified that Michael oversees the Quartermaine Mansion. Who's going to do that now?
Mm-hmm.
And Olivia oversees the housekeeping and the staff. I bet Jason does, because he and Sonny talk. Oh, we forgot to mention Jason and Sonny discussing getting out of the business and stepping that up, because Jason was like, we're going to have to step that up now because I don't want this to happen to Danny. Jason might take over the
Quartermaine stuff.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Clement was the pharmacist that was working for Ava. See, I got it in there somewhere. We met him earlier in the year, but didn't know his name until July. Jake was accepted to art school. Willow decides to give up being the spokesperson for the New Tomorrow Institute and went back to nursing. Brennan is the station chief of the WSB Port Charles office. Blaze fired Natalia as her business manager, and she became the new opening act for Miguel. Brad came back to General Hospital Lab. Oh, I guess he was on in 23. That's when he was working for Selena. I'm like, why didn't we include him on the came back?
Mm-hmm.
Sonny suggested Natalia as the CFO for Deception.
Yeah.
And she is. Marshall got a job performing with Wynton Marsalis. Lucas is a new trauma surgeon at General Hospital. Finn took the job in Seattle. Terry offered Isaiah a job, and Phyllis left Charlie's, and Kristina is back to managing it. And then the times that we saw our paramedic are when Adam passed out from the pills and vodka in Rice Plaza. That was last January. And then Kristina taken to the hospital after falling out the window. And then we had a bunch of trials. We had Finn's trial, Jason's hearing, Alexis, and that was Jason's hearing to get his stuff back, right? Like that was him fighting to get
undead.
Yes. And then Alexis getting her disbarment overturned. Carly with the whole SEC thing, and then Ava with the accident with Kristina. And then they kept our lawyers busy. Diane was the attorney for Sonny after bailing out Cyrus. She was also the attorney for the wife of the man who died that sued Finn.
Yes.
And she represented Jason when he came back and was suspected of shooting Dante. She oversaw Gregory's will. She helped Chase fight for custody of Violet. She represented Carly for the RICO charges. And then Sonny when he was considering turning himself in for the murder of John Cates. And Michael when he called for help with the divorce.
Yep.
And then Scott started looking into Heather's hip replacement as a manufacturer's error. He helped Finn with his fighting for custody of Violet. He helped Ava asked for help with Sonny for custody of Avery. Lucy asked him to rewrite the contracts for Deception. And he was asked to represent Ava for the accident that hurt Kristina and killed the baby. And he wound up actually suing the manufacturer for the hip replacement for Heather. Martin defended Esme when Ava pressed charges for breaking and entering. He also represented Finn in his malpractice lawsuit, and Alexis for the manslaughter of John Cates. And he was Willow for separation but hired by Nina before Willow knew.
Yep.
And then Molly was the ADA for Esme's trial and for Jason's hearing. Robert passed off prosecuting Jason so Robin wouldn't be mad at him. And then Rick came back and he took over Scott's representation of Heather Weber and defending Ava in the charges against her regarding Kristina's fall and the baby dying. And then the ADA for Ava's trial was named Taylor because Molly recused herself. Like she said, I'm not doing this.
All right. Random facts I'll read so that you don't start crying again. Bobbie hated flying. Carly was upset no one would be with her to hold her hand over all the bumps whenever they flew the body back over. Bobbie had hated nicknames, but let BJ call Lucas Champ until she passed. And that was the whole, she said Champ as she left. BJ said Champ as she left. Noah Robinson is captain of the soccer team. Emma was an intern at Berkeley Astrophysics Center. Chase men like basketball. And at least
maybe it likes men basketball. Hold it.
What?
Chase likes men's basketballs and at least okay. Is it Chase doesn't like men's basketball, but at least because he was trying to watch it with Gregory and at least Gregory was rooting for Boston because he was watching the Celtics?
See, I was reading it as the Chase men, like Gregory Chase.
Oh, the Chase men, yes.
The Chase men.
Yep.
Like basketball.
Yep.
and Gregory was rooting for Boston. I thought that was Boston was your own input of, okay, he was rooting for Boston. Spinelli is teaching.
Yes, it was.
See, I can decode you. I may not be able to read words that I can actually read, but I can decode your thoughts. Spinelli is teaching Georgie, James, and Bailey Lou fantasy role play games. Karen's birthday is on February 28th, the day after Amanda's.
I know.
Heather Weber had a hip replacement 20 years ago from a skiing accident that was never brought up until this year when suddenly she had poisoning. Dante's favorite book as a child was The Ugly Duckling, and we found that out because Drew read it to Scout. Laura is a master at Super Mario Brothers, and she wanted to find out why Lucky and Sly loved it so much, so she started playing it, and she got addicted.
And that's what she was telling Rocco, right? Because we found out that...
Yes,
I don't know
when she was trying to bond with them.
Yeah.
Spinelli's password is Maximista. I'm going to start making that my password for everything. Laura is Heather Weber's medical proxy. Kristina and Dante used skis to make sleigh tracks on the roof. That sounds like a lot of work, but okay. The plumber hadn't fixed Liz's shower. Sasha was a line cook and part-time chef in the Hamptons. Ava mentioned a playground that's at a park because of Sunny's.
There's like a playground at the park because of Sunny.
Oh, I don't think I remember that. Okay. And then Dex can't dance. Chase is left-handed. Sunny gave Kristina a sorcerer's apprentice Mickey when she was a kid, because then Kristina went on to need to get one, and Sunny gave her one, and blah, blah, blah for the baby. Avery is taking swim lessons and working on her butterfly stroke. Not a character, but the country club fireworks start about an hour after the cities on the 4th of July. Willow needs to know when these fireworks are going on, so that's good.
They were talking about, we missed this one, but we can go see this one.
Yes. Brooklyn is great at croquet. Dex is a Dodgers fan. Laura and Lulu used to have kitchen, floor, country, music, tea parties when Lulu was a child. I love that. And Gio is a Mets fan. Donna likes tomato on her BLT, but not her salad. Rocco reads Lulu her horoscope from The Invader. Curtis does not make good coffee.
We learned that right before the baby's funeral. Because remember, he brought bagels or something. Someone brought bagels, and he's like, but I can't make coffee.
Wow, you pay attention to things that I do not.
Maxie, funny. I'm sorry. I didn't realize how much.
It's got a lot there. No, you're good. Some of the things I'm like, huh? Maxie visited Lulu weekly and did her nails and pampered her, which was cute because when Lulu woke up, she was like, oh, that explains that.
We called that out because we're like, she is perfectly manicured. Like, look at her.
Yes. And Rocco went to baseball camp. Liz drinks her coffee with a splash of 2% and 2 sugars. And we know that because of the men fighting over how her coffee should be done. There are 178 registered 9mm guns in Port Charles. Jordan is a Baltimore Orioles fan. Isaiah is a Buffalo Bills fan. Cyrus is a Seattle Seahawks fan. All the sports stuff. Oh.
I'm just thinking, I'm like, do they have to, we should pay attention to that. Do they have to at some point? Why is no one's a Steelers fan?
I don't know. We're going to complain about that. I'm sending somebody a jersey.
Well, I think that because there's a Steelers bar in Rome, and I could be wrong, but I thought I had read somewhere one time that they have the most broad fan base. It's worldwide. Why is there a Steelers bar in Rome?
Right. All right. Well, I think we should send them a jersey. They can hang it up in Charlie's. Lucky's order at Kelly's/Bobbie's is a BLT with onion rings and extra pickles. Lucky is scared of needles. Nika is in grad school full-time.
Where's she?
Yeah, I don't know. Brennan had a border collie growing up named Percival. Martin used Miss Finch as his vocal coach to not be asked about fried chicken all the time. Lucas likes to eat something from Eckerd's before surgery, and we got that because of Brad bringing him the cinnamon roll. Rocco runs cross country. Maxie had a dog once since moving into Lulu's house.
It was mentioned, but yeah.
Yeah. Sam really likes peanut butter cups. Who doesn't? Danny was Captain America 3 years in a row for Halloween. Diane graduated from the University of Chicago because she has her diploma on a bookshelf in their office. Sam bought Alexis a bracelet with all 3 girls' initials on it for Mother's Day. Kristina's favorite dish is Casio Pepe. What is that?
It's
something
like
Sunny makes?
Yeah.
Okay. Cam, Jake, and Aiden have a brother group chat that Liz doesn't know about, which was cute until she didn't have a present for Cam's girlfriend.
Mm-hmm.
Anna likes pomegranate mango smoothies, and Brennan eats burgers medium rare. You take some random notes.
So I started this in July when Valentine seemed to be like just cooking up a storm. And I was like, oh, that'd be fun. We'll start tracking what Valentine made. And then he left. He made coq au vin for Anna, caprese salad, and a filet of sole. And he couldn't make her latte because he had run out of milk. And then the only guest star we had was Perez Hilton.
Mm-hmm.
And the only actor we lost was Johnny Wachter in a horrible murder.
Yes.
Thoughts and predictions is blank.
Mm-hmm.
And because we don't write that down, I couldn't remember what you had said that was right. And then so please fill in, what were you right about this year? And I apologize that.
I'm going to say the main thing is the thing that we love to argue about, which is how awful. Thank you. Shannon's typing before I can even get the words out. That Cyrus is bad because Shannon has been rallying around him of how he is a changed man, and I continue to say he is a jerk. So I don't know what else.
There was more though. Like, I'm sorry.
No, you're good. You're good. I don't remember. I don't know. We really
actually have to write down our predictions.
Yeah. I'll have to think about my predictions because I don't know what else.
Did we write them down in the 2023 recap and I'm supposed to go back and read that?
Sure.
Hold on. Maybe we are. It says multiple hook killers better storyline than Heather. Eddie's muse was, oh no, this was stuff that we thought like while we were there and then we were, never mind. Yeah, so we did not write down anything for our thoughts and predictions, but I was right when I said that they were going to change the name of Kelly's to Bobbie's.
Mm-hmm.
This one, you were not happy with me when I suggested that Gregory was going to pass away the night of the wedding, and it actually happened. I really honestly wasn't expecting it. I know I said it, but I really didn't think that was going to happen.
I really liked Gregory. That made me very sad.
And then Anna was blamed for Sunny's meds and everything that happened from it. And then things that we were collectively right about was Willow and Drew.
I wish we were wrong.
And then storylines that went nowhere. Ellie and Griffin.
Like, what was that?
They're together. Austin's murder.
Yeah.
Not sure what's going on there. We forgot to mention in 2020, like for the recap of 2023, that the video from Helena at Luke's memorial was never finished.
And no, we didn't get any answers.
Nope. Taggart, even being in Trina's life, is drinking heavily.
We haven't seen him.
Nope. What is hidden in Dante's past that Cody knows about? Harmony visiting Willow went nowhere. Charlotte's tarot cards.
Oh, we learned who bought Windermere.
Wait. We did learn one thing. Oh, but we didn't learn that until 2025.
No, we learned the name of the company last year. We just didn't learn who was actually going to live in it till this year.
Okay. All right. Learned name of company, but no people associated.
There you go.
Till 2025. Because I'm obviously going to go back and read these, so I need to correct myself.
Mm-hmm.
And then storylines that were current, like at the beginning of last year, were Cody's DNA, Bobbie's passing, Sunny beating up Cyrus, and Nina exposing Harley and Drew, but then also her being exposed as the tattletale. And then our biggest what the heck moments, I feel like we had a lot of them this year and just did not track after when Carly got the call that Bobbie had died at the end of the January 2nd episode. 2 seconds later, the credits rolled playing Deck the Halls.
Yep.
So what do you think? Here, hold it. I'm going to go to the 2025 right now. And what are your thoughts and predictions for 2025?
I think that Dante and Lulu are going to get back together.
Okay.
I think that Maxie and Spinelli are getting engaged. I would think that would happen next month because that's the year from when they kissed.
Okay. I think that Jason and Sasha, Jason is going to protect Sasha and the baby.
Yes, that's a good one.
Oh, and say that he's the daddy. And say he's dad. Okay, this is a collective. Lucky and Liz get back together.
That is a collective.
What else?
Oh, it's Spencer. Spencer has to come back to life.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, and I think that we're finally going to figure out that Ace is Spencer's.
Oh, Ace's paternity. Spencer. Oh, we're going to learn more about Brennan's past. What did Dante do?
We're never learning that. Why do you tell yourself that? You're not learning that.
You want to say, okay, I feel like we're just like softies when Brad and Lucas back together. Would you say that that's a joint?
Yes. Yes.
What do you think about Jason and Sonny actually getting out of the business?
I don't know how that's going to happen. Like, I just don't see it. And I need to know who would take it over. I would like, if they're really going to leave, I would like Sonny to sell his or give control of his territory to Miss Wu, because I miss her.
Yep. But if they do, give it give it to Wu.
Give it to Wu.
I'm just leaving that because that's how it rhymes.
There you go.
Okay. What else? This is what I'm saying. Like, when we're actually in the show, like, we should be notating this stuff.
No, I agree.
Because we say a lot of stuff.
Our New Year's resolution is to write down our predictions as they go along. But right now,
we're doing it right now.
I don't know what more.
Okay. Oh, so, and then I have current storylines are Will and Drew are disgusting. Trina and Kai, like, question mark, like, what's going on there? Ava's broke. Sidwell is Windermere's owner. Sasha's pregnant. Chase and Brook Lynn are trying. Sonny's having heart issues. And Lucky and Liz have a little flirtation.
Good.
So those are the current storylines.
Yeah.
All right. And then the only thing we have left is what we talked about for our 411 topics.
It was the same thing every month.
Okay. So remember last week I said, I don't know if we did any interviews or fan spotlights.
We did not. I was pretty sure we had
a single one.
General Hospital 60 Years ABC special. So we did a review of that.
That was fun.
And then we did Bobbie Spencer part 1 and 2. And then in February we did Bobbie Spencer part 3, 4, and 5. And then we did Jagger Cates because Amanda was very angry that was not the right Jagger. And then we did Spinelli and Maxie because we want them to get back together, and that was whenever they kissed. And then March we did the 5 families, the Jerome Mob family, the Wu Mob family, and the Corinthus Mob family. And then in April we did the minor Mob families, Bobbie Spencer part 6. We revisited Karen's pill addiction. And
because they kept referencing it incorrectly because Jagger kept talking about Sonny getting Karen addicted to pills, and we had to correct all of that.
Yes.
I forget why we did the mob families. Like, we really did a deep dive on the mob, but there was something story that Miss Wu was around. So there was something in the story that made us
get into it. Well, because they were talking about the Jeromes, because that's when they announced that Olivia had died, and we were like, okay, so where is this going? And so we dug into all of it.
That's right.
And then also in April, we did Sunny's Businesses. And then in May, we did a review of Maurice Bernard at the Improv, and we love him, and that was amazing. And then we did Ava and Nina's Friendship and Lila Quartermain part 1 through 3. And then in June, Lila Quartermain part 4 through 7. And then July, Lila Quartermain part 8 through 10. And that was filled with scandal and crazy things. And then we also in July did Richard Simmons because they were doing talking about nurses' ball stuff and him and the dances. And well, he passed away, but
I was going to say he passed away is what, yeah.
Yes, but they were referencing it on the show. Lucy was referencing it on the show.
I don't think they didn't talk about him passing away though.
No, they just it was kind of like their own little tribute to him by bringing him up.
But I don't know if they even did that. They wouldn't have, he passed away in July, and that's when we did it, because they wouldn't have even talked about him then for like another 6 weeks at the earliest, because that's how far out they tape. So had they been...
I thought they brought him up too. I mean, I know that we did it because he passed away, but I thought that they brought him up too. I could be wrong.
They should have. I feel like they definitely should have had Lucy.
Right, because he was a main part. Yeah. I don't remember. And then in August, we did Bobbie part 7 and 8. We revisited Stone Kate's. Aww. We talked about Miguel because that's who Blaze was opening up for. And
the reason that we revisited Stone is because they were also misrepresenting his storyline.
Right, because Jagger didn't know anything because he wasn't the real Jagger. So we had to just keep correcting them. And then we went over Rick because Rick came back. And then in September, we did Lucky part 1 through 3. And then that took us to Lucky and Liz part 1. And then October, we did Lucky and Liz part 2 through 5. And then we did Stephen Lars because that's when he came back for Taking Heather. And then November, we did Lucky and Liz part 6 through 9. And then December, Lucky and Liz part 10. And then Lucky part 14 through 16.
And that's because we kept continuing to count Lucky. We continued to track Lucky as like Lucky part 4, 5, 6.
Yeah.
While also saying Lucky and Liz.
Yes.
Yeah, so we did a lot this year.
We love Lucky.
We do. We have to finish him, which we should start him back up next week. But yeah, so that was, I don't know. I feel like some things took a major shift.
Yeah. There was a lot of stuff, like recent developments that felt like they've been longer. And then other stuff like Nina, it feels like Nina and Sonny have been over for longer than a year.
Mm-hmm. Oh, we forgot to mention when Drew went to Pentonville and when he got out.
He could have stayed there as far as I'm concerned.
Right. But yeah, so that's what happened in 2024. Join us each week as we recap what goes on in 2025 week by week. But then this time next year, we'll recap the entire year and go, wait, what?
Exactly. We'll have good notes, though.
I'll try.
I will try too. So, yeah. Have a good weekend.
And we'll meet you at the pier.
Bye.
Bye.
If you enjoyed today's show, we invite you to go to pier54podcast.com to subscribe on your favorite platform. Don't forget to leave us a review.
And you can also follow us on many social media channels. Just search for Pier 54 Podcast. Also, we are not perfect, so if there is something that we missed or messed up, just let us know by emailing us at pier54podcast@gmail.com.
Pay attention. The ferry leaves at 10 a.m. Roads are busy.
Great.
Dad, pack the boot.
Yeah.
Rosie, got your teddy?
Uh-huh.
Honey, how's the car?
Windows clean, car wax
I meant the tyres.
Oh, sorted them at Quick Fit last week.
Brilliant.
Planning the perfect getaway this summer? Make sure your tyres are up for the job. Book today at quickfit.com or your local centre. Quick Fit. Drive away happy every time.
Skiing isn't just a holiday.
It's a feeling you can't forget.
It's scenery that makes you say wow.
Before your first run of the day.
It's the clinking of Afri drinks.
And trying something totally new.
Paragliding, anyone?
We get it.
We know the feeling.
Get that feeling with Crystal Ski Holidays.
Choose from over 150 resorts and get everything sorted in one easy package. Find out more at crystalski.co.uk. ABTA and ATO protected.
LifeLock, how can I help?
The IRS said I filed my return, but I haven't.
1 in 4 tax-paying Americans has paid the price of identity fraud.
What do I do?
My refund, though.
I'm freaking out.
Don't worry, I can fix this.
LifeLock fixes identity theft guaranteed and gets your money back with up to $3 million in coverage.
I'm so relieved.
No problem. I'll be with you every step of the way.
1 in 4 was a fraud-paying American. Not anymore. Save up to 40% your first year. Visit LifeLock.com/podcast. Terms apply.